I was going over in August number a half month before the election. You can see that I'm not that guy. That guy is not me. I didn't want to find that guy. Because God told me not to draw attention to it. She didn't even think about what I wanted. I thought, well, I guess I'll go marry someone younger and start retiring. Yes, but the difference is that you were married for 36 years. 36? How long did you marry Lisa? So it was clear that she wasn't a choice for all 36 years. You go to her house, and she goes to yours. She suddenly realizes, maybe I can figure this out. You turn off your heart at that point. I'm not gonna figure it out. But once more, yes, yes. That being said, I still think you should be held to a higher standard as a Christian, especially if you work in church or have a therapy center. Do everything you can to make things better with your wife. Yes, 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 no. What I meant was that you still had one more chance because she wanted to make things right. Get your coffee, tea, or whatever helps you get through the day. Because we're going to talk about something that's been making Christians crazy like a bee in a bonnet today. It's about Doug Weiss, Joni Lamb, and what I'm calling the crisis of credibility in Christian power. Let me say this right away. This isn't about throwing stones. We need to be honest about how we got here. Ask tough questions and hold leaders responsible. Think about this. You are a leader for Christians, a service that touches millions of people thanks to you. You are admired. They believe in you. They give you the money they've worked hard to earn. Then all of a sudden you're involved in an incident that makes everyone question everything. That's where Joni Lamb and Doug Weiss are right now. First, let's talk about Doug Weiss. Do you know him? The Christian sex therapist who has written books, put on workshops, and basically made a living by helping married people fix their relationships. But here's the catch. His own marriage ended. I'm not saying that doctors can't have problems in their personal lives. Some people will look at you funny if you talk about saving marriages and then your own gets divorced. Doug says he did everything he could to keep his marriage together. But let us think about it. Why did it fail if he gave it his all? Also, why does Lisa, his ex-wife, seem to be the one trying to keep things together? It's like having an exercise coach who can't run a mile. It does not make sense. Then there are the claims of abuse. Doug says that his ex-wife attacked him. Abuse is now a big deal. That's not something to joke about. But here's the thing. Doug has not given any details. There are no specifics, cases, or proofs. It's like telling everyone, trust me bro, and expecting them to agree. For me, if you're going to make such a strong charge, you need to back it up. Other than that, it seems deceptive. Let's talk about Joni Lamb next. Hey Joni. The person who helped start Daystar television network, which is a big name in Christian television. She has helped millions of people find their way. But why did she marry Doug Weiss so soon after he got divorced? Those things make people scratch their heads. Really, come on. This is the man whose marriage ended in a somewhat strange way. As a Christian leader, Joni also knows how important marriage is to God. So what's the rush? It's like getting a car without checking the engine. It may look nice on the outside, but if the engine is broken, it will be a rough ride. Also, let's be honest, it's not just about Joni and Doug. The message it gives to the many people who look up to them is important. You are expected to do better when you are a leader, especially in service. Luke 12:48 makes this clear in the Bible. People who are given a lot will have to do a lot. Huge stages have been given to Joni Lamb and Doug Weiss. Doug seems like a well-known Christian sex therapist, and Joni is the head of Daystar television network. They have an impact on millions of people who look to them for spiritual direction and leadership. But having a lot of power means having a lot of duty. The things they do, whether they mean to or not, have big effects. When leaders abuse their power, whether it's by not being honest about their finances, making bad personal choices, or mismanaging money, it hurts not only them but also the faith of the people who follow them. The latest problems with Joni and Doug have made a lot of people lose hope. For example, claims that they spent too much money and misused donated money have made people seriously question their loyalty to the values they preach. People who lead in service are expected to be honest, humble, and helpful. However, the idea that Joni and Doug are living a fancy life while running a charity hurts their trustworthiness. They need to show that they are ready to live by the same standards they tell others to follow if they want to win back the trust of their viewers. Being a leader is more than just having a stage. Being honest and responsible with that position is what it's all about. A non-profit group, especially one that is based on faith, is built on trust. People who give their hard-earned money to a church believe that it will be used to further its goal and not to pay for personal needs. This is the reason why honesty is a must. Many of Joni Lamb's fans no longer trust her because she isn't open about her pay, real estate holdings, or spending habits. People who give to Daystar expect their money to be used to spread the message, not to pay for expensive lives. The Bible stresses being honest and having character in everything you do. In Proverbs 11, verse 3 it says, "The honest lead others, but the dishonest destroy them with their lying." Many people feel cheated because Joni won't give clear answers about Daystar's funds. For her to win back trust, she needs to be honest. This means being honest about financial records, facing accusations head-on, and showing a dedication to responsibility. Being open and honest is not only the right thing to do, it's required by the Bible. If they don't get it, Daystar and its leaders will further lose respect. One of the worst things that can happen to a leader is to be called hypocritical, and Joni Lamb is having a hard time getting rid of this name. She talks a lot about being humble, helping others, and living a faith-based life. In contrast, rumors that she owns several expensive houses and lives a lavish life paint a very different picture. Many people are wondering why she does the things she does that don't match up with what she says. Jesus was very critical of the religious leaders of his time. In Matthew 23 verse 27 he calls them out on being hypocritical. "Woe to you, Pharisees and teachers of the law! You lie. You're like spotless graves that look nice from the outside but are full of dirty bones and other things that belong to the dead." Joni's situation is exactly like the other one. How is it that she talks about being humble and making sacrifices but doesn't seem to be humble herself? So that people can trust her again, she needs to fix this obvious contradiction and make sure that her actions match the ideals she preaches. The good goal behind starting Daystar Television Network was to share the faith and give people hope all over the world. But the new problems with Joni Lamb and Doug Weiss have made that goal less important. The topic of talk has changed from Joni's religion and ministry to her home, money, and personal choices. This is not only bad for Daystar's image, but it's also getting in the way of its mission. The Bible says that people should not let their own sin get in the way of God's work. Paul tells Timothy in 1 Timothy 4:16, "Keep a close eye on your life and teaching. Hold on to them, because if you do, you and the people you speak to will be saved." Many people who used to look to Daystar for guidance have run into trouble because of what Joni did. If she really cares about Daystar's purpose, she needs to face these problems head-on and turn the story back to the message instead of her own problems. One important part of being a good boss is being accountable, which Joni Lamb and Doug Weiss don't seem to have. Great leaders are ready to own up to their mistakes, even if everyone else does too. Joni can show that she is a real leader by owning up to her mistakes, saying sorry to those she has hurt, and taking real steps to fix things. He who hides their sins will not prosper, but he who admits and denounces them will find mercy. Proverbs 28:13. If Joni keeps avoiding feedback and putting off worries, the backlash will get worse. But she can start to earn trust again if she owns up to what she did. This could mean briefly giving up her job, letting someone else look over Daystar's finances, or making up for any money she misused. Being accountable isn't fun, but it's necessary to rebuild trust. It's important to hold leaders responsible, but we must also remember how powerful kindness can be. Christians believe that people can be healed and made whole again. Both Joni Lamb and Doug Weiss can be forgiven. There is room for forgiveness if they admit their mistakes, make amends, and promise to live in line with religious principles. In Ephesians 1 verse 7 it says, "In him we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of sins according to the riches of God's grace." Going to jail shouldn't be the end goal. Restoration should be the main goal instead. Joni and Doug can show others what it means to truly turn away from sin. They have to own up to their mistakes, ask for forgiveness, and make changes that matter before anything else can happen. You can receive grace, but you have to be truly humble and ready to change in order to accept it. The scandals involving Joni Lamb and Doug Weiss are a depressing reminder of how important it is for leaders to be honest, open, and responsible. Not only have their acts hurt their own credibility, but they have also hurt the trust of people who give money to their organizations. They need to own up to their mistakes, make sure their deeds match what they preach, and show that they are truly committed to Bible principles if they want to move forward. This is a very important time for Joni and Doug. They can show what real leadership looks like by taking responsibility, asking for forgiveness, and getting things right. It won't be easy to make things right, but they have to if they want to rebuild trust and keep doing service work. The people in charge of the church group need to wake up to this. Being honest is important, and losing it costs too much.